Hi everyone, this is Suzanne. Today I'm going to show you a plugin, a WordPress plugin that helps you to create some pretty snazzy looking buy now buttons. It's called Instant Buy Now Buttons, and I have to admit that when I first read about it, I wasn't really sure what was going to be that special about it. But having watched the demo on the sales page and now having bought it, I really, really like it. It's not going to be for everyone, but there are some people who this will be a really great tool for, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and share it with you today. So, as I said, it creates buy now buttons, and if you have been online for a little bit, selling online, and you integrate with PayPal directly, then you probably know that it can get a little bit techy. If you've been online for a while, you probably don't have any problems knowing how to generate a PayPal button and figuring out where to put that on your sales page. However, if you are new or if you have been struggling with this, then this plugin could possibly help you to get your product up much more easily. You're not going to have to deal with logging into PayPal and creating the button code or the button there and then transferring the code and putting it onto your sales page. You're going to do everything in this plugin, and that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of hassle. It allows you to set up really nice looking buttons, even if you have other um, checkout carts that you're using. So for instance, I use ThriveCart, and while I really love ThriveCart, it's one of the best investments that I've made for my business. I don't always love the look of the buttons. And so what I could do with this and what I plan on doing with this is making some really nice looking buy now buttons and then just sending people to the checkout page on ThriveCart. Um, let's see. So let's go ahead. Let me show you the site really quickly. The home page is where you're going to see a graphic representation of the buttons that you've created. And when you're ready to create a new one, you just click on this, Create Button. If you click on Buttons, then it just gives you a list of the buttons. In the Customer tab, you'll see the sale or the customers for the products that you have sold. Likewise, in the Sales tab, you'll see all the information as you start to generate sales through that button. So let's get going and create a new button. All right, you can see that I've created a couple here, but I'm going to go through the process. So click on Create Button, and it has you name your button. So let's do, all right, and then I'm just going to recreate one. Okay. All right, and then we're going to say 27. You can change the currency here. So if you're not in the US or if you don't sell in US dollars, then you would change that there. This is fine for me. And then I'm going to have the success URL. Let me go ahead and grab that. All right, and then click on Continue. And here you can see that you have a wide variety of buttons that you can play with or use. So I've used these two here. I think I'm going to go ahead and try this one for this demo. All right, so if I wanted to leave the button just like this, then I could just simply stay on the publish. Once I clicked on that, it sent me to the publish tab. So I could simply just copy one of these bits of code. So you can use a short code, you can use a JavaScript snippet, or you can use an HTML embed. Quite frankly, if you're trying to get away from HTML and the coding, then you probably won't want to use this. So what I would do is I would take this code and drop it onto my sales page. However, I want to design it a little bit more. So right here I can choose the background that it will be on, either a white background, a gray one, or a black. Obviously with a black button, it's not going to look too great on a black background. All right, so here's you can edit all of these. Here's your headline, get your access now. You can see that there are different headlines that are already set up in the plugin. If I wanted to use something different, so let's say get your copy now, then I could type that in. Okay. And I can also, if I click on this pencil, I can actually do some different things. So if I wanted to change the font, I could do that. So let's go with this. And I can change the size. Let's see. All right, I think I like it with large. I could choose to bold it, which it is, or not, or italicize it, or even underline it. Okay. Or I can use the strikeout. If I wanted to, I could use the highlighter. And then I could also change the color. Okay. All right, and you can do that with any of these just by clicking on the pencil. Okay. All right, so you'll see here that it says regular price, and that allows you to, with the little code here, that allows you to show the price that you set up initially. Okay. Let's go back to setup for a second, because I'm going to show you that there are some more options. Right now it's saying that the regular price is 27, the special price is 27. Obviously that's not a special price. So let's say that I wanted to offer, let's say $10 off, and I want to draw your attention to something here. As I am making changes, you can notice that this is showing the changes. All right. So if I discount it, then obviously the price changes. I could discount it by not only by a fixed dollar amount, but by a percentage. Well, either or. Okay. Pretty sure that wouldn't work. Yep. All right. So we're going to leave it as a $10 discount. If this was something that you were doing shipping with, you could add that, and you can add taxes, either a fixed amount or a percentage. And then you can put your success URL here. You would have already put it in. And if you wanted to have a cancel URL, so if someone chooses not to go through with the checkout, then you could lead them somewhere else, maybe to an opt-in page or something like that. All right, so let's go back to design, and you'll see now that the button is reflecting the discount. Okay, if I wanted to, I could actually take this out and type my own, just like, you know, if it's $17. So let's show that. Or sorry, regular price would be 27. Okay. All right. Again, with a special price, if you click on the drop-down box or just click in there, you'll see that there are a couple of other suggested pieces of wording, but you can always type in your own. And then you can say add to cart on the text. You can have a text link. and then you can have your footer if you want. All right, so let's talk about these tabs on the right hand side. So what you can do with these is you can actually increase the width of the button or decrease it, make it really skinny. Okay, you can change the height. Okay, you can leave it as completely squared off, or you can slightly round it, or you can make it more like an oval. Okay, and then if you wanted to, you could even drop like a drop shadow so that it kind of pops off of the page, or not. It's kind of hard to see with a black button. All right, the next one is features, and basically you can toggle on and off these things. So if I were to toggle this off, then you just see the special price. If I put it back on, then you can see. I like to use this because it shows that it shows what a regular price is. It shows a discount. So it's a nice way of summarizing what your offer is. You can add the little cart icon or not. And you can, if you have another payment processor, so this goes back to like if you're going to be using another checkout cart, then you could do this. For example, if you're using Stripe or Authorize.net, then you could do that. Or if you want to emphasize paying with PayPal, then you can do the PayPal on the button. If you don't have any other way, or if you're just using PayPal, then you could just remove the credit cards. Okay, and then you could use the PayPal on the button. All right. Now, let me drop down to this for a second since we're dealing with credit cards. You have all of these different ones that you can choose. The one that I see most people not accepting is Discovery for whatever reason. And so you can take off any of these that you're not accepting. And then again, you can change the size, the spacing, widthwise between the credit cards, or give it some more space vertically. Or you could make them grayscale. Okay. All right, so that's the credit card. So let's go back to the previous one. If you wanted to leave off the headline, you could do that. And you'll see that the Get Your Copy now disappeared. And you could also take off the footer. So like I said, you can pretty much toggle on and off any of these as you like. All right, and then the box, you can do either a completely square box, you can do a really weird looking oval, or somewhere in between. And then you have the choice of different kinds of borders. Okay, so let's say that you did not want a border at all, then that would be fine. If you wanted to do, let's say, that doesn't really show with that, so let's do a dashed border. And it's not really showing with the black, but you can barely see it. Okay, so you can play around with those as well. And there, you can make it a little bit more visible by changing the width. Okay. All right, so I might leave it like that if I were using the black button. Okay, so I'm going to save the changes. It does save as you're going, as you make changes, but I always like to double save, as I call it. All right, so let's see what would happen. So I would publish it by copying the shortcode, and I'm going to put it onto my page. All right. So you're going to go into your text of the page and you're going to copy. And when you go back to the visual mode, and it's slower because I am recording, which is always fun. All right, so I'm going to update it, and then we're going to take a look at what it will actually look like. All right, so let's open it in an incognito window. All right, and yeah, it's loading pretty slowly. It always loads really slowly when I'm recording. All right, so there is the buy button, and if I click on it, it's going to pull up that PayPal, and then I could easily check in, or I should say log in, and then check out. And the beauty of it is that this is all happening without your customer having to leave to go to PayPal. So once they log in here, they can complete the payment, and then this closes and they go straight to whatever page you've set up. Okay, so after this, the page that they would be going to would be to, whoops, um, okay, that's the one. Okay, so I just threw together a page just to show you. So this would be the page that they would get to, let's say. Okay, so it's not just about creating buy buttons, snazzy looking buy buttons. It's also about keeping that whole flow of payment on your website so the person isn't having to go to PayPal to log in and then remembering to click the return to merchant, or hoping that your redirect works out. It just works on your website. All right. So the one thing that I have a problem with, so I like all of this, but the one thing that I have a problem with is that if I wanted in my setup to offer a 100% discount, and the reason that I might do this is, let's say that I'm participating in a bundle where people buy a bundle of products for one price, and then they go down the line and they choose the different products that they really want. Then what would happen, and I'll show it to you, is that this isn't going to work because as a member of that bundle, I am offering my product to them at for free, and that's not going to work because PayPal does not allow you to check out for free. So let's see what actually happens when I try to do that. All right, so if I were to go back to this page and refresh it, what you're going to see is that, and I didn't style it properly because I should have just typed in, free today only or something like that. But when I click on Pay with PayPal, I'm going to get this error message that things don't appear to be working at the moment. And that's just because you can't check out at PayPal with a zero balance. So for that purpose, that is not going to work for me to offer a product through a bundle or to offer any product with a price of zero, when I've made it free. So what is my recommendation? Well, this is where if you have another checkout cart, then you can use it. All right. I'm sure there is a way to do this using this if you're going to use like an opt-in page or something, but that is not the purpose behind this video, and that is more tech than I want to wrap my head around really. So what I'm going to show you is a custom checkout. So this will work if you are using something like Thrivecart or Samcart or even Infusionsoft or whatever. You can just put in a checkout URL. Okay, so let me do this. Actually, no. Let me work on this design just a second. Okay. All right. I'm going to save changes. Okay, so let's go back and let's set up that custom checkout. When you click on the custom checkout, everything else goes away because you're just sending them to that page. So the page that I'm going to have them go to is this one. Save changes again. And then we're going to go back to that incognito window, and I'm going to refresh it. It should refresh with a button saying today free, and I forgot to change that, but let's click on it anyway. What it's doing is it's sending me to the actual checkout page that I have on Thrivecart, and that has the coupon already embedded in it. Okay, and so the person can go ahead and fill in their information here, complete the order, and they would get to their page. I won't go ahead and do that, but just trust me when I say it works. All right, so that is the main issue that I have with this buy button, and it's really not a button, an instant buy now button plugin issue. It's just the nature of PayPal. So that is the only caveat that I would have you know, that if you do a lot of bundles and this is something that you want to do, then this probably isn't going to be for you. If you like the idea of creating really good buttons and you are either okay with using PayPal and you want an easy way to do PayPal, then this will work great for you. Likewise, if you have something like Samcart or Thrivecart or something else that has a checkout sales process, then you can also use this, and this will create those really nice buttons for you, and then you can just send your people to that checkout page. All right, so I hope that helps. The developer of this has this on launch pricing right now, but I'm not sure how much longer that it will be available. So if this looks like something that you would like to have, then I would suggest that you click over and check it out. All right, that does it for today's video. If this has been helpful to you, please like it, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends, your community, whoever you think this might be good for. And also don't forget to subscribe because I come out with these kinds of videos. And, you know, if you want to know when the next video is out, then you'll need to subscribe, click the bell. I'll talk to you soon.